It's getting late and I am sick and my room is a mess. But I really want to record this video. It's been about 3 weeks since my last update on Muse, and I just finished doing something, and I can finally move on to the next step. The thing which I just finished is writing a 61-page document that explains how the earlier versions of my model work. So it explains voice recognition, the text-to-speech, how the actual chatbot works. Most importantly, it explains exactly how you can implement commands into your chatbot. The reason this is an important update is that I haven't been coding for the past 3 weeks. I've just been writing this and editing this, and now I can finally get back to programming and learning more about how to make an AI model feel human and actually be useful to the user. This means I need to plan out my timeline for the next week, maybe a few months, for what I want to do. Okay, so here's my plan. Step 1 is to swap to an open source model like Llama or Orca or just some open source large language model that I can use. Main reason for this is I can fine tune it to my specific use case easier. The second main reason is that I don't have to pay for it. And let me explain. With OpenAI, it is my bank account that is connected back to the usage for the model. If it is run on my own computer, then the costs are the energy, which is in the electrical outlet that is the wall. And do you know who pays the electricity here? Not me. Amongst many other perks, this is one of the things that comes with being 16 and still living with your parents. Step 2, rebuild the command execution, because the command execution is currently based on something that only OpenAI has. So if I swap to an open source model, then I won't be able to use the OpenAI command execution. So I'm going to have to make my own architecture for that. Step 3, build an effective long-term memory. So I'm going to have to read a lot of papers, replicate the ones that I actually find useful, build a fundamental understanding of how human long-term memory works, and then come up with my own ideas to actually make something that's better than the status quo. And then step 4, the final step in my current plan, is to then make it feel more personal and more human-like. I want this AI to actually be fun to interact with. And so it's going to need to feel human, it's going to need to have its own interests, it's going to need to have its own emotions, or at least feel like it has all of these things. Now, this was my original plan. And then I got accepted into a program called the Explore Fellowship. And the people at the Explore Fellowship were like, hey, would you like to present a cool project you're working on at this 1-week boot camp in Connecticut? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to present my project in one of these presentations. So then they followed up and they were like, awesome, what's your project about? And here's what I responded with. I'm trying to make an AI assistant that feels like you're communicating with another human to the point that it's actually an interesting conversation and you want to keep going back to it. Now, if you recall, making the AI feel more human is not step 1. It's not even step 2. In fact, it's not step 3 either. Making the AI feel more human is step 4. It's the last step. I don't know why I told them that that's exactly what I was working on right now. Now I have a new plan in place. Basically, figure out what makes people fun to talk with or interesting to talk with, and then do that, but to ChatGPT. So then it's fun to interact with ChatGPT. So that's basically my journey for the next week and a half, because I need to have a presentation ready by next week and a half. I'm basically going to figure out exactly what makes people interesting to talk with, and then do that, but to an AI.